Legion Remix. Guys, I'm excited for Legion Remix. I'm actually going to do this round of Remix for sure because just all the good transmog and mounts and everything coming out of this thing. I'm very excited to get into it. We're going to look overall at the artifact weapon system. So back in Mists of Pandaria Remix, he had a cloak system, upgrade through that and all that stuff. This time around, it's a Legion artifact, which is pretty cool, you know, going back to that, but they're changing it up completely. It's going to be a new way to work it, new way to spec it, new way to upgrade it, and everything else. So let's jump in here and see this video from Mr. GM on the system overview for artifact weapons and Legion Remix.
Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about artifact weapons, and more specifically we're going to talk about artifact weapons in Legion Remix. In this video we're going to talk about everything you need to know about the artifact weapon in Legion Remix. How do you get it? How do you upgrade it? What does the talent tree look like? Why is there no Mage Tower appearances? All that good stuff.
Yeah.
But before we jump into that, guys,
look, the Mage Tower appearance thing before he dives into all this stuff, it's got a lot of people upset. I keep seeing it in comments, even videos that have nothing to do with this. People are still commenting that they're angry about the Mage Tower. Me personally, I think Blizzard should just re-release new colorways for the old Mage Tower appearances, because I understand you want to preserve the old Mage Tower appearances. Whatever, that's fine. I don't care. People who got it, and people who didn't, it's a cool. But I think you could have re-released a new colorway of it, at least. Give some people a reason to go in and redo those challenges and then give them a new colorway. So it kind of preserves the old one, but people could at least get the look of those things.
I want to give a massive thank you to all of our channel members and everybody over on Patreon. I just started posting over there fairly regularly with different updates about the channel, what you can expect over the next couple months and everything like that. So if you want to support me on Patreon, I'll leave a link down below. Right, so yes, Legion Remix is coming extremely soon, with the rumored release date being October 7th, 2025, which is pretty soon from the recording of this video.
Oh, wow.
Legion Remix brings a ton of new features, and this time around, instead of a cloak, we are getting an artifact weapon that we can empower throughout our Legion Remix experience. Now, this weapon works a lot differently than the cloak in MOP Remix, so let's talk about it. So let's talk about acquisition to begin with. So this is actually acquired pretty quickly at the beginning of your Legion Remix experience. On your first character, you just play through the Legion's attack of Dalaran, and at the end of that, you will acquire your artifact weapon. And
so no class hall stuff, all that stuff that we did, those cool quest lines and everything. I mean, I guess it would be kind of tedious to redo them all, because most people did the ones that they wanted to do. So, yeah, just do the quests and down.
Do a little bit of a tutorial on how to use it, how to upgrade it, and all that kind of stuff as well, which is nice. All the original class and spec artifacts will be returning for Legion Remix. However, Drakthir Evokers will not be available in Remix, as they didn't exist back in Legion, so they don't have an artifact weapon.
Sorry, Hyrule Wolf. Yeah, that's not going to happen. No Drakthir. Man, the Drakthir keep getting screwed over in these Remix events. It's kind of sad.
Them potentially, but anyway, regardless, all the classes and specs that are available during Legion will be available during Legion Remix. Now, what's really nice about the artifact weapon is that any ults that you create after you've gone through that starting experience can just skip right ahead and get their artifact right away, which is super nice. Literally in the first quest, you can just get your artifact right away and not have to worry about doing all of that intro scenario again. Now, for appearances, as of PTR, there is no vendor to unlock artifact appearances. You will have to unlock them the kind of old school way through the class order hall campaigns or various activities which do unlock different artifact appearances. And as mentioned...
Wait, didn't he just say no Drakthir, or is he just saying Drakthir Evoker? Well, now, what is it? That you have to play a Drakthir but another class, not Evoker. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Got it. I was so confused for a second, man. I gotta listen with my ears instead of my asshole sometimes. So, because I see him running around with a Drakthir right now. I'm like, what's going on? He just said no Drakthir. No, he said no Evoker. Got it. Okay.
At the beginning, there is no Mage Tower appearances in Legion Remix. As of PTR, anyway, they might still be a scaly boy. But as of right now, there is not any way to obtain the original Mage Tower appearances from Legion. So let's start by talking about upgrading the item level of your artifact. So as you level, you're going to get items called Artifactium Sand. Now, these are rewarded from the Cache of Infinite Treasures. You're going to get so many of these as you level up, similar to MOP Remix. Any quests and things like that will be dropping these caches, and inside these caches are items that upgrade your artifact. These can also drop while scrapping, so you're going to get a ton of these. And as of the PTR, as of Phase 1, because it is a phase release, the current cap on your artifact weapon is item level 633. 3, which seems to be pretty much the item level cap across the board.
Okay.
But as we get into more phases, I would imagine this item level is going to go higher and higher. But don't worry, that's not the pinnacle of your power. You're not getting your power from the item level. You're getting your power from the brand new talent tree. And this talent tree needs a new currency, and this currency is called Infinite Power. Let's talk about Infinite Power. So this is
Look at that naming system. So we got 3 currencies, it looks like. Infinite Knowledge, Bronze, which you'll be using to purchase all of your, transmog, mounts, all that stuff, and then Infinite Power. So the difference between this version of Remix and Mists of Pandaria Remix is Bronze is no longer tied to player power, which is good, because a lot of people had the issues early on in Mists of Pandaria Remix where they wanted to purchase, all those cool transmogs, that this is the reason why they're playing Remix, but they kept having to put it into player power shit because they needed to level up a little bit more and get a little bit stronger to be able to get a lot of the stuff that they wanted to get. So you got the split out here. Yeah, a few more currencies. What are we going to do? But okay, Infinite Power is our new power-up mechanic for player power.
Currency you're going to use for this talent tree. Now, what they've done in Legion Remix is make the bronze currency exclusively just for purchasing cosmetics. So we now have this new currency called Infinite Power. Now, this is obtained through everything similar to bronze. This currency is not account-wide, so if you get Infinite Power on your main, you're not going to get any Infinite Power on your ults. This is not shared across your character. However, this is shared across your artifact weapons. So if you're to play 3 different specs, all of those artifact weapons will have the same amount of Infinite Power to spend, so you don't need to level up each specific artifact weapon, which is actually really nice. Yeah. Now, as I mentioned, Infinite Power is not shared across your ults. However, something called Infinite Knowledge is. So if you played back in Legion, this is similar to the artifact knowledge system. So basically, for every infinite knowledge you have, you get more infinite power from sources, and this is account-wide. Now, infinite knowledge is obtained through different achievements, like completing all the quests in a zone.
That thing allows you to basically, if you do make an alt, you're gonna grind up that alt way quicker than you did your first main. So that's okay. That makes sense. Yeah, they brought it back basically.
Different achievements, like completing all the quests in a zone, or completing all the dungeons, or similar different achievements like that, or getting a certain amount of infinite power. Pretty much all the infinite knowledge does come from different achievements that you can get during Legion Remix. Now, this does cap at 36, and if you do get any more above 36, this will be converted to bronze. So basically, yeah, the infinite power is not shared across account, but if your main gets a ton of infinite knowledge, your ults will benefit from that by getting more infinite power while leveling. So let's move on and talk about the talent tree. So to access the talent tree, all you have to do is shift click your artifact weapon, and that brings up the tree. Now, the tree is actually the same for every single class and spec. However, the secondary and primary stats are different depending on your class and spec, but yeah, for the most part, it is exactly the same across the board. Now, the first trait you're going to get on this talent tree is a new active ability called Remix Time. So this is actually a new spell that says raise your artifact and open a rift in your timeline, causing your cooldowns to recover 1000% faster for 3 seconds, and it has a 2-minute cooldown. So basically, every time you click this, your cooldowns are going to start blasting down.
We have a realm to destroy.
Rukai, thank you for the follow. Welcome to our Scourge. This thing's cool. So this is basically your OP, right? It's the OP-ness of this whole thing, Remix thing. And that's what we want. We want to go God mode. Some of you guys are saying, oh, Sam, you should play a different class. Why are you going to play Blood DK again? I'm going to play Blood DK. All right, it's the only thing I play. I am a Blood DK. I am the Blood DK. But what I want to do is I want to play this on God mode Blood DK. I want to be able to pull an entire zone and just mow it the fuck down and be completely unkillable. That's what I'm excited to do.
For 3 seconds, and then they'll just go back to how they were before. So yeah, a pretty handy ability. I didn't find myself really using it that much, but certainly if I thought about it more, it probably would have been pretty helpful. Now, as you continue to spec into the tree, all of the different nodes here will increase your stats and give you various different buffs and things like that, and you can choose all of the nodes in that first section. But once you get to the end of the first section, you will have a choice of 5 active abilities. Now, this is a choice. You can only choose one of these at a time, but you can swap and change them as much as you like from anywhere, which is really nice. So let's go through these active abilities that everyone is going to have access to. So the first one is Call of the Forest. This says...
Oh, so these are the same across the board regardless of what class you play? At least these specific abilities will be okay.
Summon a stampede of forest denizens that charge forward. Each member of the stampede shields allies and grants 3% attack and casting speed for 10 seconds up to 5 times. The stampede inflicts physical damage to enemies struck, immobilizing them for 3 seconds. So this is really cool. You basically click it and a massive stampede of random creatures come out. Nimue also spawns from Amirdrasil. I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. You basically just summon the stampede in front of you and it does shield you when you do it. All of these abilities basically share a cooldown of just over a minute. So yeah, if you are going to kind of hot swap between them, you are going to be sharing a cooldown there. The next ability is Twisted Crusade. This says calls forth a subjugated infernal dreadlord for 30 seconds that periodically strikes enemies with Rain of Chaos. So this is awesome. Basically, you summon this dreadlord that just attacks for you. He looks awesome. He does quite a lot of damage. And actually, once he's summoned, the ability Twisted Crusade turns into Fell Spike, which actually sacrifices the dreadlord, causing AoE damage. So basically, you kind of just want to summon him, and then just before he goes away, you want to
kill him. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. A little explosive ability.
Fell Spike, which will cause a ton of damage.
Cool for AoE.
Yeah, a very cool ability there. The next one is Naran's Everdisc. This says throw a disc of arcane energy that arcs outwards before returning towards you. And it says Naran's Everdisc inflicts arcane damage to enemies in its path, and you can intercept the returning projectile to throw it again, up to 2 additional times, increasing its damage 30% for each subsequent throws.
This would be great for ranged DPS for sure.
So this is actually pretty similar to the ability from Plunderstorm, but yeah, basically you're throwing a disc and then you want to go catch it, it throws it again, and yeah, it's actually a really, really cool visual and a really cool gameplay thing. Not sure which classes will benefit the most from something like this, but it is a very awesome active ability. The fourth choice is Tempest Wrath. It says unleash a wrathful storm, inflicting nature damage over 9 seconds to enemies within 8 yards. It says each enemy struck grants you growing Tempest, increasing the damage of Tempest Wrath by 5%. So if you're doing a massive AoE pool, this is going to be a fantastic ability for that. So yeah, just an AoE ability that happens around you, so obviously a bit better for melee classes for the most part, and visually it's not as appealing as some of the others, but regardless, it seems to do quite a lot of damage. The final ability is Vindicator's Judgment. So this says become Lightforged for 15 seconds and cool down a beam of heavenly light that follows targets, dealing holy damage to enemies and healing friendly targets every 0.5 seconds for 10 seconds within its area. And this deals reduced damage and healing beyond 5 targets. So this is a really cool looking ability that summons these little orbs that kind of heal people and do damage. Once you've used the ability actually turns into Enter the Fray, which clicking this rushes you forward, dealing holy damage, kind of like a Fell Rush, but a holy rush. And then after that, it turns into Lightbound Passage, which actually deals more damage and heals more allies and teleports you back 15 yards. So this is, yeah, a 3-stage ability, which is very, very cool. I haven't had a ton of time to use this ability on the PTR, but regardless, it looks really cool, and I would imagine the additional healing and things like that will be extremely helpful for healers. So yeah, basically you choose one of those 5 abilities and you go up the tree. You'll have smaller nodes which increase your stats and give you extra passive things like being able to move while casting, or giving you extra damage or procs or defensive passives. On top of all of that, your rings, trinkets, and necks will give you extra ranks of abilities on the tree, starting with 1 rank on a green item, 2 on a blue, and 3 on an epic. You can see on my tree here that different abilities are highlighted, and if you've actually already specced into something, it'll give you additional ranks. So if you just get 3 ranks of something by speccing into it, if you have an epic which also gives you 3 ranks, you will now have 6 ranks of that. So you can definitely stack some of these damaging abilities to your advantage.
It's rank 6 of 3. What the hell? It's kind of broken. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. So yeah, I was saying earlier, I kind of misquoted. It's actually like a tanking one here. The Felguard one is the interesting one because that could work for anybody. Range DPS, tank, whatever. It's an AoE ability, essentially, because you get to blast this guy to pieces at the end of his stay. And then you got the more, what's it called? Range-specific one, melee-specific one, and then you got the healing one. Okay, so that's how it's all laid out.
Already specced into something, have 6 ranks of that. So you could definitely stack some of these damaging abilities to your advantage through the rings, trinkets, and necks that you obtain while leveling and from the end game. And then when you get to the end of the tree, you'll get to the ability Limits Unbound. Now, speccing into this will increase your primary stat and your stamina with each rank, and this trait can actually be purchased infinitely. So if you were to farm out a ton of infinite power, you could just keep speccing into this.
So this is your god mode. This is your God mode. You keep blasting this up, and you keep getting stronger and stronger. I wonder how high people are going to push this, because this is what's fun about Remix. It's just becoming infinitely overpowered. So people are just going to push this to the max.
Making your character more and more powerful.
The tank one is the AoE one.
So gaining power and abilities and how you make a character big and strong is certainly a lot different to Mr. Pandaria Remix. So guys, that's it. That is the artifact weapon in Legion Remix. A little bit more complicated than the cloak from Mop Remix, but let me know down below. Let me know your thoughts on the artifact weapon. I've got about 9 ranks of the Endless rank on the PTR right now, and I can't say my character is too powerful. Like, I'm pretty powerful for the most part, but I'm not going out and soloing mythic raids and things like that. Perhaps that's something that'll happen, you know, further down the line or whatever. But yeah, it's 50,000 infinite power to do the Endless node at the moment on PTR, and that is a lot. Even with like 13 infinite knowledge, I'm still not getting that much infinite power. So maybe these numbers are something that are going to change as we get into launch and things like that.
I hope they dive straight into just being overpowered. I mean, that's what this is about. We don't want things to be balanced in a Remix event. You want to become overpowered. You want to do stupid big pulls. You want to do stupid big kills, one-shotting everything. Eventually, that's what I want to be at. So if they tune it too well to where you don't become overpowered, then it just makes it less fun. I want to see it all out. The Stampede is meh. I mean, the reason why I say it's for tanking is because it generates shields for everybody. So, I mean, that's why I consider it to be the tanking version. But, I mean, tanks could go with any of the DPS ones. It doesn't matter. Or the healing one, for that matter.
But guys, let me know your thoughts on the artifact weapons in Legion Remix in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I'm also on Patreon, and I'm on Twitter at MrGMYT, and I have a partner Discord channel as well. And also, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream in Legion Remix, Midnight Alpha, any sort of World of Warcraft, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, nice video. Overall comprehensive stuff, mainly about the abilities that come with the Legion Remix weapons. And I didn't realize this, but everybody's dealing with the same abilities here. No matter which class or spec you're playing, whatever Legion artifact weapon you have, it's all going to be the same for the trees. So, cool. You spend your bronze on your transmog shit, and you spend your time, whatever knowledge on the other shit. Or not the knowledge, the power. The time warp power. That's what they're calling it. So cool. Yeah, nice system. I'm excited to play Legion Remix and get some of these good transmogs. Nice video for Mr. GM.